Hi everyone, my name is Daniel Dalton and this is Dr. Laura Gonzalez. We're here from IMSH and we're excited to join Healthy Sim for a conversation about everything we have going on here at Sentinel U. Dr. Gonzalez, the buzz, I think today in particular, I'm hearing so much about debrief, and we understand the importance of its incorporation in all things simulation. Talk to me about what we have going on.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm glad you asked. So one of the things that we've really invested in is understanding the power of debriefing. And I think we can all attest in simulation, it is like the linchpin to a quality simulation.
Yep.
And what we learned during the pandemic was it was difficult to do synchronous debriefs when everybody was everywhere. So with our proprietary product, Empower Debrief, that is an opportunity for the learner to do a self-guided debrief using an avatar. And it's really an opportunity to capture those moments, those experiences, think about their wins, their opportunities, talk about evidence-based. So you capture them in time, and then the facilitator can afterwards go and look at those transcripts and really get a feel for how the learner did. But it's not only for the simulation per se. A debrief can be used in any kind of environment. It could be used in the clinical setting. Mm-hmm. It can be used after a particularly difficult patient or an examination. So this is really simulation debrief or empowered debrief anytime, anywhere.
So what an incredible way to offload a tremendous amount of work for the faculty and to provide them an incredible lift on such an important area in SIM.
Absolutely. If you think about it, if I've got 150 learners and I have them in a remote asynchronous environment, it's so important to capture that and then being able to come together and see, okay, let's really unpack that. Mm-hmm. And now I have this transcript and I could really understand how they performed. And they can reflect back on it too because we are saving those transcripts they can access at any time.
Wow. Another thing that we've had tremendous amount of conversations with here at the booth is about simulations for the advanced practice learners. Can you talk to the people about what we have going on at Sentinel U for the advanced practice learner, in particular in terms of simulation?
Absolutely. As an advanced practice nurse myself, it was obvious that there are not a lot of simulations geared to that advanced practice space. We know the undergraduate has a considerable amount of resources. Mm-hmm. And so what we really looked for is authentic encounters that nurse practitioner students can work through, like a case study that evolves, that includes embedded metrics, it includes embedded video, embedded images, really just an opportunity for the learner to have these very high-level cases in preparation for the clinical setting. The goal of these experiences essentially is to have the learner come up with differential diagnosis, diagnostics, and a robust plan of care. Not to mention, they get to do their own billing and their own coding, which we have heard with feedback that is one of the most important pieces.
Now, can you talk to the audience about what standards that those are mapped to?
Fantastic. I want to mention that all of the work we do at Sentinel U follows very closely to the INACSL standards of best practice. That is one of our, that is kind of our Bible during simulation. But for advanced practice, we really looked at the NOMF competencies, we looked at the medical core competencies, we looked at the specialty competencies, mm-hmm. For instance, psych mental health or women's health competencies. So we really detail to making sure that these simulations align with those core competencies for any of the users.
Well, speaking of alignment, one of the things that we speak to so many educators like yourself is the difficulty in taking these simulated experiences and wrapping them throughout the curriculum. Can you talk to the team about what we're doing?
Absolutely. It just worked out so perfectly. So one of the products that we have worked on in the last few years is Align. And Align is just that. It's an opportunity for you as a faculty member to have a repository of information that allows you to curate experiences before the simulation and then after the simulation, with the idea that you are threading curricular concepts throughout. So for instance, if you're doing a simulation on diabetes management, which is a really hefty topic, mm-hmm. Imagine doing activities pre-simulation that kind of sets the context and the groundwork, having the learners participate in the simulation, mm-hmm. and then following up some meaningful reflection and additional content. So it's really like a turnkey solution.
So you're extending it beyond just that
Absolutely.
virtual sim environment. I know that this year is a huge year of innovation for us in 2024. So what are some of the other things that we have going on that you could care to share in terms of an innovation standpoint?
I think I'm most excited about our decision to deliver data.
Yeah.
We made a decision in the last year in 23, and we said it is important for the learners and the facilitators to really understand their performance, where they are. We've learned that a score is just a score. It really means nothing if you don't have any context. So we spent a considerable amount of effort, and it was definitely worth it. We really looked at what does a score mean in the context of the simulation. So providing that data, those metrics that are aligned to not only the clinical judgment measurement model, the NCLEX client categories, and again, AACN. When you receive your performance assessment, your student report, you have a good idea of where you are in the scheme of things. What's the benchmark? What's the percentile? All of those things have been created with a wonderful group of scientists, computer scientists, and we have an algorithm now that we can say, look, this is where your learners are performing.
So turning simulation into information and making that actionable.
Absolutely, and I think that's the piece that's missing. Oftentimes we do these amazing simulations, but unless I can, provide that context and make meaning, not only that is kind of that return on investment.
Right.
I can provide my administration with this information and say, look, this is how our students are faring. That's the value.
Right. Well, we've got an incredible amount of things going on, and we want to thank you for joining us. We're excited for 2024 to be a year of innovation for us. You can learn more about everything we're doing and Dr. Laura Gonzalez's team is doing at sentinelu.com. Thank you.